所以我们还在用一个很古老的治疗法，用这个蛆虫来治疗伤口。
We are a very special company because we employ people with special needs to do all the work.
我开一间汉堡餐厅，其实我本身不喜欢吃汉堡。
亨德森工业区坐落在亨德森路和红山路的交叉处，前身是新加坡玻璃厂。玻璃厂在80年代搬迁后，这里就发展成轻工业区。工业区被郁郁葱葱的绿色植物环绕，让这里看起来别具特色。这里有不少新型产业，在厂区以南的利达路下段，就有一家专门培植蛆虫用作蛆虫治疗的公司。
My name is Carl Baptista. I am the founder and CTO of Cuprina Private Limited. We manufacture a medical device, a live product, maggots which are placed directly onto a wound that's infected to clean up that wound so that it can progress into healing. First thing we need to do is open up your wound.
Carl 被称为蛆虫达人，他还有一位年轻的工作伙伴。第一次听到 Carl 提起蛆虫治疗时的郭永琪，觉得不可思议。
我跟 Carl 见面的时候是一个商务活动，所以当他提到他在用蛆虫来做一个medical device 的时候，我是感到很惊讶，因为这个蛆虫是活的。We are such an advanced country， 但是我们还在用一个很古老的一个治疗法。我就回家去查怎么样用这个蛆虫来治疗伤口。其实很多国家已经在用了，已经有几百多年。在 The Napoleonic Wars 它已经开始了。当我跟我父母讲的时候，我要加入这个公司来做，他们第一个反应就是说不要了，这个东西是很肮脏的。
郭永琪成功说服父母让他加入这个行业，但是对蛆虫治疗法误解的人可不只是他的父母而已。
我是黄国生医生 ，Dr. Desmond Uy， 我是血管外科高级顾问医生。做医学生的时候，第一次看的时候，讲真的看起来蛮恶心，也蛮恐怖的。我每一个病人，当他们跟他推荐的时候，他们某个程度上都是觉得蛮紧张的，因为他们会担心那个蛆虫会不会跑出来，会不会很痛，为什么需要用蛆虫？
糖尿病患者的慢性溃疡问题通常很难治愈，蛆虫疗法可以有效清除当中的坏死组织，加速伤口愈合。黄国生的病人杨宝成接受了医生的建议，选择蛆虫治疗而免于截肢。
我名是杨宝成嘛，我今年68岁了，我有糖尿病。我踩到了这个小螺丝钉了，因为小小的伤口而已，以前2、3天就没事了，可是这一次呢，跑不了，发炎的非常的快。
医生建议杨宝成把小脚趾截掉，以保住他的脚。手术后，医生还得除掉伤口处的坏死细胞。考虑到杨宝成的健康状况，医生建议他尝试蛆虫疗法。
每一次的疗程呢，把那个蛆虫放在伤口里面呢，大概要放4天。伤口里面好像有几只蚂蚁在爬来爬去咬的感觉。我是没有什么觉得怕或者什么没有啦，这个东西很神奇，这样的感觉，不是说看了会恐惧的感觉，很有效。我只是动过1次的手术而已。
The major misconception is what happens if the maggots were to eat up more of my hand or more of my leg. Will they turn into flies in my house? So usually it's a bit of surprise to start off with, but eventually people will understand once the science is understood.
在 Carl 的公司附近，除了轻工业，还有熟食中心，方便在这里上班的员工用餐。除了食物的选择多，价钱一般也比较实惠。这里还有一间餐馆，售卖从日本和南美入口的顶级牛肉汉堡。
我是陈金伦，今年48岁。我本身是艺术毕业的，我学画画。我在 IT industry 做了10多年。
陈金伦在拉萨尔艺术学院学画任教。在科技公司担任要职固然有满足感，但却阻止不了他创业的决心。2007年，他毅然转换职业跑道，选择往餐饮业发展。他在工业区开了一家能够慰藉顾客的味蕾又有商机的汉堡店。
其实我本身不喜欢吃汉堡。因为我是新加坡人出身的，对于我来讲 ，Hawker Food 是我最喜欢吃的。可是我也是了解到，世界各地都是跟麦当劳长大的，所以麦当劳把汉堡做成一个 universal comfort food， 啊，所以就变成很多人其实很喜欢吃汉堡。我偶尔会吃，可是我没有那种 craving， 也没有。
为了汉堡的品质，他走遍世界各地的农场，只为了进口最优质的牛肉。品质确保后，选择开设汉堡店的地点也耗了他不少精力。
那时候我们要找地点的时候，我们本来是想进去一个 shopping mall， 可是觉得 shopping mall 的租金不适合做 production， 因为太贵了。就开始找一个比较 affordable 的地点。Henderson 是最 centralized 的 industrial park， 最靠近 city 的 industrial park。还有我们的 landlord 真的是花了很多心思跟钱来 beautify 这个 environment， 一个 architect 在这里搞出了这个很漂亮的landscaping。这里又有很多 offices， 又有很多 residential。所以我觉得是好事了。在这个 F&B 的 industry 已经有16年了吧。
16年在餐饮业的经验累积，他的战绩是在本地开设了6间不同美食风味的餐馆，成绩斐然。过去在艺术和科技领域的经验，让他设定品牌定位和方向时更为敏锐。
我觉得艺术的 foundation 可以让我能控制我整个品牌的 aesthetics。在 Apple 学到的概念就是 product。我们的 product 怎么达到最好？开餐厅没有100%的信心的吧？没有人能说我开一间餐厅就说啊，我肯定会赚钱。
即便世事难料，不过万事求好的个性，促使陈金伦不断前进，继续融合美学、科技和美食，为餐饮业创造出属于他的另一番风味儿。亨德森厂区种有上千棵花草树木，要照顾这些植物，每个月花费不少。为了减少开支，同时响应绿色发展蓝图，管理层打算回收雨水来灌溉植物，也在楼顶安装太阳能板，节省能源。舒适的绿色环境成功吸引了不少商家在这里设厂。当中也包括这家75年老字号的制衣厂，刘文华就是这家制衣厂的第2代接班人。刘文华年轻时在英国留学修读法律，但却学非所用。 母亲逝世后，父亲要求他接手母亲遗留下来的服装生意。
My mother started a little children's girls and boys dress shop. My mother's shop was called Majestic and kind of old-fashioned, right? In those days, some of the Peranakans called Baba Baba for boys. So we thought, okay, girls were like called Baby, Bibi, sounds quite fun.
刘文华当初接手，难免面对重重挑战。然而一路走来，不断改革发展，也屡创佳绩。他们还是早期把牛仔裤带进本地生产的商家。
Long time ago. When I was in England, it was Beatles and jeans time. We were all wearing jeans at that time, so I thought, hey, the Singapore young people would love to have jeans. But at that time, it was very expensive, these imported jeans. So we decided to try and make it in Singapore. We were very lucky. We managed to grow the factory, and within a few years, we were able to export jeans.
他们也曾为英国王妃戴安娜缝制衣服，当时更是名噪一时。
We worked with a Singapore designer called Benny Ong, and he was designing things that Princess Diana liked. And so we were producing those dresses for Princess Diana. So that's one of the fun things that we did.
由于产品的卓越品质，他们也在2007年获新加坡金字品牌奖悠久品牌的肯定。然而，经营生意绝非一路顺遂。在90年代，欧美市场降低我国的出口限额，影响了本地的成衣业。刘文华深切明白，他们必须转型。
If we can't, export, then we have to do something else. So we decided to offer our services to industry, to corporations, MRT, to PSA, till now one of the biggest uniform suppliers.
用心经营，变通转型。这个老字号制衣厂从童装、牛仔裤到制服，开拓了不同的格局。在岁月的推移中，他们一步一步向前行，勤勤恳恳地付出，交出优良的成绩。经过75年的岁月洗礼，依然在本地屹立不倒，并非偶然。亨德森厂区附近有一个社区农场，这里每2个月都会举办一次农夫市集。
Smell the water. It is nice. It smells like nature.
这个由社会企业 City Sprout 主办的市集，是为了推广本地生产的农产品和手作食品。Mushroom Buddies 这家生产蘑菇的公司也是商家之一。
I'm Chin Hua, okay, and together with me is Pat and Bernard. We are the people behind Mushroom Buddies. Mushroom Buddies produces fresh mushroom locally. We are a very special company because we employ people with special needs to do all the work. We are also parents with children with special needs. I have a son with Down syndrome, and he just passed his 36 years old birthday. I'm a little bit ahead of Pat and Bernard in the journey.
We had our daughter with Down syndrome, Caroline, 23 years ago. She had a lot of physical issues that I had to take care of. She had a hole in the heart, and she had hearing issues. Generally, Down syndrome, they have low muscle tone, so you have to send for physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and then send her to special school. And so that took up a lot of my time. So I decided I had to focus on her, day to day.
In 2008, my smallest daughter was officially diagnosed with autism. Okay, my daughter this year is turning 18. And I think once they turn 18, right, then the school that they are in will have to say they graduate. So graduation is actually one of the biggest issues, I think, for parents who have children that have special needs. Because it would seem like, this is like the end of the road for their education. But then you can say, the real life then begins, right?
居住在新加坡且达到适学年龄的新加坡公民必须接受学校教育，包括接受特别教育的孩子。在学校接受各种教育和技能的训练后，这些学生在18至21岁左右就会从学校毕业，进入职场。
At 18, right, we call the first cliff, because after graduation, what do you do? So one option is retire at 18. But I think that's not the life we want our children to have, right?
"家里若有特需的孩子，他们人生的每一个阶段必定会让父母忧心，特别是即将迈入18岁的时候，父母的心情就加倍的不安。
At 18, right, we call the first cliff, because after graduation, what do you do? So one option is retire at 18. But I think that's not the life we want our children to have, right? So about 12 years ago, right, a group of parents got together and says, we have to do something to provide employment for them. We tried many things. We tried to make paper bag. We tried to do hawker center cleaning, okay? And I think part of the problem is that you have to find something that the parents are also acceptable.
It probably has to be a kind of job that we can break down into steps, processes that they can easily understand. So farming did come to our mind. Mushroom farming, they're grown in aircon containers, and then we all find it acceptable.
公司在2021年正式成立，蘑菇的生产和包装都在这3个集装箱里进行。蘑菇主要是分销给餐馆，也在网上零售。公司目前有6位员工，郭洪安是公司所聘请的第1位员工。
Hi, my name is Kate Hong An here. I like to come to mushroom farm to grow mushrooms. I don't really eat mushrooms. I work here. I work here, but I don't come here to eat. Come here to work only.
Hong An, this morning you, Angela, do container 1. Hong An is our longest staff. He's the first staff. We call him the joker of the group. And all the colleagues, they all actually look up to him. He's an entertainer, he's our PR man.
I like Fazia, myself, and Asher. He always call me charming because I very charm.
Everything okay? Yeah. I'm mother of Hong An. When Hong An was born, the doctor has already diagnosed him as having Down syndrome. So it was a shock to us. Hong An is now 37 years old. So you can imagine 37 years ago, there were very little information about Down syndrome or people with special needs. We started to expose him. We just bring him out wherever we go, we don't hide him in the house. Our idea is to keep stimulating him.
为了让洪安多跟外界接触，公司会安排他帮忙送货。
Since he was familiar already with growing mushrooms, he was quite happy to do it. And you can see that now he prefers to come here than even to go back to Down Syndrome Association, even for that one day, He will find some excuse, oh, I'm tired, or this and that, I don't want to go back.
I love working here.
Why?
Because good staff and good colleagues and boss.
要栽培1名特需员工，不仅仅提供训练就足够，还要考量其他的元素。
We have, by and large, used a lot of resources to train up persons of special needs to acquire skills in the workplace. But then, right, when they actually come to the workplace, then they find out that it's not the work skills they are lacking, but it's the social skills.
面对种种孩子们长大后可能会面临的问题，身为父母，孩子的前景不禁令他们忧心忡忡。
I'm now into what I call the second cliff, because I've retired, and I am in my last 1/3 of my life. So my frightening part is when I'm no longer around, what happens? And I think that is a real worry, a long-term worry for all parents. We believe that when we're around, we'll do all we can to support them. But when we're no longer around, where's the support?
Although she has a brother, or older brother, you still worry that whether his family, his young family, can actually take care of her, because by the time we are gone, she's also older, she will have more medical issues. I'm already writing down a list, to-do list, in case, I have written down like if certain things come up, what supplement to give, she can't sleep at night, what you should give her, things like that.
Fear is getting closer and closer for me. I think people with special needs just need the extra bit of help to structure something for them so that there's more order, there's more certainty what they do. I think we need more social enterprises. We need a more inclusive society so that they can participate